Hello Heathens at home and welcome to another art broadcast. So today what I thought we would do is a little drawing tutorial on how to draw a more complicated flower. So we've done little doodles in the past, short videos and films about how to draw wildflowers. I don't know if they've, oh no, they have gone out already. So we did some simple little doodles in some short videos. But what I thought we'd do today is a slightly more complicated kind of 3D flower. So all you're going to need to draw a flower like this is a pencil, a rubber, a fine liner and some paper. And we're going to draw this freehand. We're not going to use any rulers or any kind of protractors or any drawing aids, anything like that. We're just going to use ourselves and our imaginations. You can draw your flower however you like. But what we're going to do is we're going to start by laying down a pencil framework to make the flower 3D. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my example drawing out of the way and we'll make a start. So we're going to start with our pencil because if we make any mistakes or if we don't like anything, what we'll do is we can rub it out. So to start our 3D flower, what we're going to do is we're going to draw kind of like a goblet shape or a bowl, something like that. So you're going to start by drawing very roughly a kind of oval shape, like so. And then to make it into our goblet or bowl shape, we're going to take lines down from the outside edges in a curve and bring it round and down to meet underneath. So once we've drawn our bowl shape, what we're going to do next is we're going to put on the kind of sturdy base of the flower where it meets the stem. So we're going to kind of do another bowl shape underneath. Now this is the first time I'm using this technique. Well, it's the second time other than the example drawing. And my example drawing, I don't think I did a wonderful job. So I'm hoping that this new drawing will be even better than the first. So we've drawn a large bowl shape and then we've added another smaller one to the bottom of that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create our stem coming down from the bottom. So we're going to kind of do two straight-ish lines curving in from the bottom of the second bowl. Like so. And hopefully you can see this. Yes, because I'm doing it in pencil and pencil doesn't always show up brilliantly, but I think it's showing up today, so that's good. So with our pencil, we have started the framework, the basis for the shape of the 3D flower that we're going to draw. So we've done an oval and we've made that into a bowl shape. And then we've added a smaller little bowl onto the bottom, which is the bottom of the flower where the petals grow out from. And then we've added our stem. So we're going to continue with our pencil and we're going to add our base of our flower, which is not exactly leaves, but it is a green part to the flower. So we're just going to add some kind of little spiky bits where the greenery of the flower base comes up a little bit. Now if you don't like it, as I say, because we're doing everything in pencil first, you can rub that out. Now the actual part of this flower is, the part of the flower that this is called is a sepal, I think, and I am no expert on how to draw them. So draw them how you like. I'm going to just put some little points coming up from the base like so. So we have drawn the little spiky bits at the top of our sepal, this second bowl here. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start adding our petals. So the petals we're going to do fairly long And what we're going to do is we're going to add these little kind of curvy points on the top of them. So we're going to start at the top of the flower, at the top of the petal, and we're going to bring a curve up and round like so. And then we're going to bring the petals down. And we're going to continue doing that, following the top of the petal lines are going to follow that original oval that we drew. And we're going to fill up our flower with these curvy points at the top and bring everything round. So we'll do the front petals first, the ones nearest to us. And hopefully this is making sense to you guys. And we're going to continue it round. So when we get further to the edges, these curved pointy tops that we're doing, what I'm going to do is as we get closer to the edges, the side of the petal at the top that's closest to the edge is going to be slightly shorter to the point than the bit further towards the middle. So this bit here is long, and then this bit here is slightly shorter. And then we're going to continue on going round. I'm just going to do a little petal there and a little point there, and then we're going to continue to do those pointy rounded tops until we have filled up all the petals for our flower. Now if you work your way around and you discover that your petals don't seem very evenly spaced, this is the joy of using a rubber. You can just rub out and correct your mistake. So I'm not enjoying how this end bit has finished off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to alter it slightly. Until I'm happy with it. Like so. So we have drawn a bowl, we have added a little bowl onto the bottom of it and drawn our stem. We've then done some little points on top of what's called the sepal. Yes. To where the green tough part of the stem has the petals coming out of it. And then we've added all of our petals in this 3D shape around the bowl shape that we created. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add our stamens. So stamens are the bit in the center of the flower where pollen is produced. So on a daisy, that's kind of like this very dense cushion shaped center. With a flower like this, you can have stamens that kind of poke up and out, a bit like in a lily or something like that. And what the idea is that your stamens should all be coming from the center of the flower. So if I was drawing a stamen, I'm not going to come in from the side here, because the stamen's not growing out of the petals, it's growing out of this central piece of the flower down here basically. So if you imagine that all the stamens are coming up and out from the bottom here, and we're just going to do little lines with dots on top, and you can do as many or as few as you like, and you can have them crossing over as well if you want to. I think, do I want one more? Maybe. Something like that. So we have done all of the pencil drawing that we need to do for our flower. What we're going to do now is we're going to start finalising our drawing by going in with our pen. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the stamens, the pollen stems, in the centre, so that I'm not going to take them down through the petals once I draw them in as well. So all I'm going to do, and turn your work if you need to, is go over those lines and dots, making sure that I don't cross the petals below. So I have added my stamens. I am now going to go in with my pen and start outlining the petals. So I'm going to try and draw my lines in kind of one fluid movement for each side of each petal. Following the lines that I'd already drawn, in pencil. And as I say, turn your work if it makes it easier. It also helps when you're drawing in pen not to smudge. So I'm just going to continue going around all those petals, adding the lines in, trying to do each line in one fluid movement. Where possible. So now that we've got all of our petals drawn in, I'm going to finish off the framework, the main outlining of my flower by joining up those sepals at the bottom. And then adding in my stem. Now, if you're not happy with any of your lines or you feel they've gone a little bit wiggly, there is nothing wrong with going in with your fine liner or your pen and adding some slightly heavier lines if you think it makes it look better. So I've completed the basic drawing of my flower. What I would like to do now is just add a little bit of detail to the petals. Now you can do this however you want. You can use your coloured felt tips or your coloured pencils if you're going to use those. I'm going to add a little bit in with the fine liner just so that it's really easy for you guys to see. So all I'm going to do is from the centre of the petals, from the bottom up, I'm going to do a few lines. So a long one and then a couple of short ones, like so. A long one from the middle and then a couple of short ones. And we're going to continue that round. On the sides here, because the petals are disappearing round to the other side, I'm just going to do a couple of lines. And what I'm trying to do is, with these lines, is follow the curvature of the shape of the petals that I've drawn. So from the bottom, moving up, a long one and two short ones. From the bottom, moving up, a long one and maybe a couple of short ones on that side. Now, you can do that for the inside on the other side, but I feel that it would rather complicate the stamens, the pollen stems in the middle. But what I am going to do is I'm also going to add some extra details at the top of the petals as well. And we're going to use much shorter lines for this. So we're going to not go from the centre. We're just going to do a couple of little short flicky lines from the top on either side of the point of the petal. And we're going to do that for each one. Moving all the way around. Until our flower is complete. So at this point, if you're using a kind of a fine felt tip like me, or an ink fine liner, what you'll want to do is to allow the ink to dry before you do any rubbing out. Once you've done some rubbing out, you can make a decision about whether you want to add any more detail, and then of course you can colour in your flower. I will be doing a blog post about this one, guys, so I will link that at some point after this has gone out on the broadcast. And I hope you've enjoyed it, guys, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye, guys.